My beloved child, a sudden shift is rising around you, and Archangel Michael is stepping forward with a voice that shakes the unseen realms. He says, very good news is happening in the next 3 hours. And the way he speaks it carries a weight that does not belong to ordinary moments. This is not a casual message. This is a divine interruption, something heaven had been preparing quietly, without you even noticing the signs forming behind you. Listen closely, because if you scroll now, you will miss the part that explains why this good news is coming so fast, and why ignoring this message will trigger deep regret later. A sacred clock has just been activated over your life. Archangel Michael shows a vision of a bright golden hourglass, and its sand is descending quicker than usual. Every grain represents an alignment that has been out of order for years, finally moving back into rightful position. You may not feel it yet, but something has already shifted in the invisible world. And he is saying, child, heaven has released a yes for you that no force of darkness can steal again. The message attached to this yes is urgent, and Archangel Michael warns that many will overlook it because it looks too simple, too unexpected, too sudden. But destiny rarely arrives wearing a crown. Sometimes it comes as a whisper you were not prepared to hear. Sometimes it knocks only once. He is showing me that someone watching this has been feeling drained, as if the last season tried to bury every ounce of hope inside you. You prayed, you cried, you waited, and honestly you began to believe nothing would change. But what you didn't know is that heaven was storing your tears like seeds. And today, those seeds are sprouting into a breakthrough that will appear within the next 180 minutes. Not symbolic, not metaphorical, a literal 3-hour window. But here's the twist: Archangel Michael is revealing that this blessing will not look like what you expect. It will appear disguised as a conversation, an opportunity, a message, a release, an approval, a reconciliation, a surprise call, or something you thought was impossible. He says, your name is being spoken in rooms your feet have not entered yet. You have not even seen the first ripple of what God is about to send your way. The attack you faced was not because you were weak. It was because the enemy could see the blessing approaching before you did. And that is why the warfare intensified recently. But hear this clearly. Archangel Michael has already struck down the resistance that was blocking your next season. Something that was stuck is moving. Something that was closed is unlocking. Something that was delayed is accelerating. Your spirit can feel this even if your mind is trying to catch up. And child, here comes the part you must hear. Archangel Michael says the reason this blessing is coming in the next 3 hours is because time-sensitive grace has been released over your life. This is a window, an opening, where favor flows faster, decisions turn in your favor quicker, and long-awaited answers suddenly manifest. Heaven has arranged a divine appointment on your behalf. Do not underestimate what can happen before your next sunset. But Archangel Michael also gives a warning. If they ignore this message, they will cry not because God didn't bless them, but because they missed the moment to recognize what heaven was doing. A blessing unrecognized becomes a blessing unused. A blessing unused becomes a blessing wasted. He doesn't want that for you. He doesn't want you to sleep on something that was designed to wake your entire future. This is why he's urging you to stay with this message, because in the next moments, he will reveal the exact energy, signs, and spiritual shifts you will feel before the blessing arrives. Missing that information may cause you to overlook the breakthrough when it stands right in front of you. Even now, a gentle heat, a tingling, or a sudden emotional wave may be rising in you. These are confirmations that your spirit is recognizing what your mind hasn't grasped yet. Archangel Michael is closer than you realize. He is wrapping his wings around your home. He is clearing the spiritual traffic blocking your blessings. He is commanding the winds of change to move swiftly toward you and child. The moment this message ends, the countdown accelerates. He is saying, tell them to be ready. Tell them to stay awake in their spirit. Tell them their 3-hour miracle is already traveling. Hold on, because the next revelation will show you why you were chosen for this rare moment of divine speed. And trust me, you will want to hear what comes next. This is where the story explodes open. Type I received the 3-hour miracle in the comments if this is speaking deeply to you. Lesson code 441 has now been activated over your timeline. Before you move, pause for a breath, because what unfolds in the next part will expose the hidden reason behind this divine timing. Hold your heart steady. The next revelation may be the most important thing you hear all week. Dearest heart, as this message continues to unfold, Archangel Michael steps even closer, and the atmosphere around you is shifting with a quiet intensity. He is revealing something deeper, something that explains why this 3-hour window is unlike anything you have experienced before. He says that the spiritual realm has been rearranging itself silently, preparing the ground beneath your feet for sudden elevation. You have been walking through a season that felt like delay, but delay was never denial. Delay was construction. It was heaven repairing what the enemy damaged, lining what was misaligned, and preparing you for what you thought you were not ready to receive. Archangel Michael shows me an image of pathways that were once blocked, now clearing with a sudden sweep of divine wind. He says, child, the reason this message is urgent is because the blessing traveling toward you requires your awareness to land. Heaven's timing is precise, and missing awareness is like missing the knock on your door when the visitor carrying your miracle finally arrives. You are not listening to this by accident. The pull you felt to open this message was not human curiosity. It was your spirit being summoned to attention. Divine timing is speaking, and you have responded. In this moment, Archangel Michael is placing a spiritual spotlight on your life. He is illuminating areas that have been overlooked, dismissed, or forgotten by others. He says your name has been marked with divine recognition, and the next hours carry the potential to rewrite chapters you thought were already sealed. Some blessings come gradually, but others come like thunder. This blessing is the thunder kind, the kind that shakes the foundation of your story and announces loudly that your waiting season has reached its expiration point. There's a sound in the spirit that only sensitive hearts can hear, and right now, the sound is moving toward you. It is the sound of breakthrough approaching. It is the echo of a door unlocking. It is the whisper of chains loosening without struggle. Archangel Michael says your prayers did not disappear. They gathered. They accumulated. And now, like a river that has been blocked for too long, there is a release happening. The waters are breaking through the dam. What once felt stuck is now unstoppable. He wants you to understand something crucial. Blessings do not always come in the form you expect. Sometimes they come disguised as destruction. Sometimes they appear as a sudden shift, a new path, a surprising message, or a moment you did not anticipate. That is why he warns you not to ignore anything that happens in the next 3 hours. Pay attention to the unusual, the subtle, the conversations that feel different, the thoughts that suddenly appear in your mind, the opportunities that seem too random to be coincidence. Heaven uses small moments to deliver big miracles. And yet, there is a deeper layer to this message. Archangel Michael is revealing that the reason this blessing is arriving so quickly is because your spiritual atmosphere has finally matured to receive it. You have endured storms that would have broken others. You have survived seasons that tried to silence your voice. You have stood in places where everything inside you wanted to collapse, but you kept going. You kept praying. You kept believing. And heaven took note. He says, "Child, you have passed the test of endurance, and now the reward must match the weight of the suffering you carried. The next hours are not random. They are repayment. They are restoration. They are compensation for everything you thought was lost forever. And Archangel Michael is making sure you do not miss the signs when they appear. A strong spiritual energy surrounds you at this moment. You may feel warmth, goosebumps, a heavy stillness, or even a sudden calm. These sensations are not accidental. They are confirmations that you are aligned with this divine message. Your spirit recognizes the truth before your mind fully processes it. And that recognition is opening a door right now, a door that has been locked by cycles of fear, doubt, and disappointment. Archangel Michael is lifting his sword, not in battle this time, but in blessing. He is cutting away the residue of the past. He is removing the energetic weight that has been clinging to your heart. He is declaring, "This child must rise now." You are stepping into a moment where heaven accelerates everything connected to your destiny. What should have taken months will take minutes. What should have required effort will flow with ease. What once resisted you will now submit. And here is the revelation you cannot afford to overlook. This 3-hour blessing is a doorway, not an event. When the first sign shows itself, it will trigger a chain reaction. One shift will lead to another, then another, then another. Your life will not return to its previous pace. The rhythm of your destiny is changing. The tempo of your blessings is accelerating. Before this part concludes, Archangel Michael wants to remind you that awareness is everything right now. Do not drift. Do not disengage. Something in this message is unlocking the very thing you have prayed for. What comes next will clarify the exact movement that is heading toward you. Hold tight, because the next revelation may confirm something you have been sensing for weeks but could not articulate. Type "I am ready for divine speed" in the comments if your spirit is responding to this message. Blessing code 553 has now been released into your atmosphere. Take a breath and stay close. A deeper unveiling is approaching, and you do not want to miss what is about to be spoken. Beloved one, as this revelation deepens, Archangel Michael now unveils the hidden truth behind why your spirit has been feeling restless, alert, and strangely awakened in this exact period. He says that what is coming toward you in the next hours is not just good news. It is a divine reversal, the kind that rewrites outcomes that were once sealed against you. This is the moment where heaven interferes with what the world assumed was final. This is where the first crack of breakthrough light enters a room that has been dark for far too long. You may have noticed recently that your emotions have been unstable, your sleep interrupted, or your thoughts shifting suddenly. This is not instability. It is spiritual sensitivity. Your inner world has been reacting to the unseen movement of angels preparing the path ahead. Archangel Michael describes it as the trembling before a long-awaited dawn. He says, "Child, your soul senses the miracle before your eyes witness it." These sensations are confirmation, not confusion. They are the echo of heaven's footsteps approaching your timeline. He shows me a vision of a sealed envelope being opened in the spiritual realm. This envelope contains something with your name written in golden light. It looks like a release order, an approval, a decision finally made in your favor, something that was once delayed but is now being accelerated by divine authority. Archangel Michael explains that this envelope represents a breakthrough that has already been signed, stamped, and delivered. All that is left is the moment when it makes contact with your physical world. That moment is approaching quickly, and you are being prepared so you do not overlook it when it arrives. You have been asking for confirmation, for direction, for clarity. David has heard every whisper. You have been feeling stuck between your past and your future, unsure which way to turn. But Archangel Michael says that what is coming in this 3-hour window will point you toward the right path without confusion. It will feel like a light turning on in a room you did not realize was dim. It will feel like relief washing over your chest after carrying a weight for too long. It will feel like grace replacing the pressure that has kept you up at night. He also reveals a powerful truth. This blessing was not delayed because you were unworthy. It was delayed because the timing had to be perfected. Certain people had to be moved out of your way. Certain energy needed to detach from your life. Certain cycles had to end before new ones could begin. Heaven was not ignoring you. Heaven was orchestrating the environment so your blessing would not be stolen, contaminated, or misdirected. Archangel Michael says, what is coming is pure. What is coming is protected. What is coming is yours and only yours. He is now showing me the vision of a great door opening in the spiritual realm. At first, it opens slowly, with heavy resistance. But then, suddenly, something shifts, and the door swings wide with force. This symbolizes how your breakthrough will unfold. The beginning may feel subtle, almost unnoticeable, but once the shift begins, it will gather momentum, speed, and unstoppable force. What starts as a hint will end as a flood. What begins as a whisper will become a declaration. And in this moment, you must understand something crucial. Your awareness is the key that activates your blessing. When you recognize the signs, you align yourself with the flow of divine movement. When you ignore them, you allow fear and distraction to pull you out of position. This is why Archangel Michael is urging you to remain spiritually awake. Something in the atmosphere has already begun adjusting itself for your breakthrough, and your recognition of it strengthens the manifestation. He is also revealing that you are not just receiving a blessing, you are stepping into a new spiritual rank. You are rising into clarity, authority, and stability. The emotional storms you have faced were training, sharpening your discernment, and strengthening your resilience. Heaven does not elevate of prepared hearts. And you, child, have shown heaven that you can carry what is coming. You are not fragile. You are not forgotten. You are chosen for this alignment. Archangel Michael ends this portion of the message with a final whisper, "Be still within yourself, for the miracle is already in motion." And before this part closes, he asks you to remain with this message, because what comes next will reveal the exact emotional and spiritual signs that will appear right before your breakthrough enters your physical world. The next revelation will bring clarity to things you have been feeling but could not explain. Stay close, because this is where the divine blueprint begins to unfold clearly. If this is resonating deeply within you, type "I receive the open door" in the comments. Blessing code 927 has now been released over your path. I'll take this moment to support this mission. If this message is speaking to your spirit, then let heaven use you to carry it further. When you like, share, comment, hype, and subscribe, you become a messenger of light, allowing God's word to reach others who are desperate for hope. Just as Archangel Michael is opening a divine door for you in this very hour, there are countless souls waiting on the other side of their own breakthrough, unaware that help is coming. This mission exists to reach them. Every seed you sow becomes a torch of light in someone else's darkness. When you support through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding a channel. You are fueling a spiritual movement. The Lord says, "Those who water others will themselves be watered," and that word becomes alive the moment you act. I am personally inviting you now to become part of this river of restoration. Let your giving be a prophetic act that opens your own heavens even wider. Release your seed, and watch what God releases back into your life. Beloved soul, as this message unfolds further, Archangel Michael is drawing your attention to a truth that has been quietly forming beneath the surface of your life. He says that before a breakthrough touches the physical world, it first sends ripples into your inner world. Those ripples are the sensations, intuitions, unexplained emotions, and sudden thoughts you have been experiencing recently. Nothing you have felt these past days was random. Every feeling was a signal, every restlessness was a nudge, and every moment of pressure was a sign that something divine was preparing to emerge. Archangel Michael is revealing now that your spirit has been stretching. This stretching is not a punishment, it is preparation. When a blessing is larger than your current capacity, heaven stretches your spiritual walls so that what arrives does not overwhelm you. This stretch feels strange because it disrupts your familiar patterns. You may have felt unusually emotional, unusually quiet, unusually alert, or unusually sensitive. You may have found yourself withdrawing from conversations without knowing why. You may have felt drawn to solitude, reflection, or sudden moments of prayer. All of this was your inner being aligning itself for what is coming. He shows me the image of a seed underground, pushing upward with slow but unstoppable force. The soil surrounding it resists, but the seed continues rising because its destiny is not to remain buried. Archangel Michael says, "You have outgrown your spiritual soil. Now the breaking must begin." Your breakthrough is the moment when your life cracks open to allow the light in. That crack can feel like pressure, tension, or emotional heaviness, but it is a sign of transformation, not collapse. You are not falling apart. You are shedding an old layer so the new one can breathe. He is revealing something powerful here. Your discernment has been awakening. You have been noticing things you once ignored. You have felt truth in places you used to feel confusion. You have recognized intentions more clearly, sensed danger earlier, and identified blessings faster. These are not coincidences. They are upgrades. Heaven has elevated your inner vision because what is coming requires clarity. The enemy often fights new blessings by sending distraction, deception, or confusion, but Archangel Michael has strengthened your spiritual eyes so that nothing can mislead you during this critical hour. He says, "Child, your intuition is no longer a whisper. It has become a shield." Part of this 3-hour blessing involves your ability to see through situations, people, and spiritual energies with greater accuracy. This clarity will save you from wrong paths, wrong relationships, and wrong decisions. It will guide you toward alignment. It will make you recognize divine opportunities the moment they appear. Heaven does not allow major blessings to fall into unprepared hands, and today Archangel Michael confirms that your preparation is complete. You are ready. You may not feel ready, but your spirit is. Now he draws attention to the emotional waves you have faced recently. Out of nowhere, you may have felt old memories resurfacing, wounds reappearing, or fears speaking louder than before. This was not regression. It was release. You cannot carry old emotional residue into a new season. You cannot step into divine good news with the weight of yesterday still attached to your spirit. So, heaven allowed these old emotions to rise, not to discourage you, but to free you. They came up so they could leave. They surfaced so they could dissolve. You have been detoxing spiritually without even realizing it. Archangel Michael shows me a vision of chains breaking silently, without sound, without drama. Chains you did not know were still attached have been snapping in the background of your life. Generational patterns, limiting beliefs, past heartbreaks, and unseen spiritual burdens have been losing their grip. You felt the emotional pressure, but what you did not see was the liberation happening at the same time. You were losing heaviness while gaining spiritual authority. You were being emptied of pain so you could be filled with blessing. And now, he brings a peaceful but powerful message. The blessing that is approaching cannot enter a crowded heart. This is why the clearing happened first. Heaven has made room inside you. The space that was once filled with worry, stress, or confusion is now open, ready to receive what God is sending. You are stepping into a moment where your inner world aligns with your outer world. When internal clarity meets external blessing, miracles become inevitable. Heaven is preparing you not just to receive this good news but to sustain it. Many people receive blessings but lose them because they were not emotionally or spiritually grounded enough. But your grounding is complete. You have become strong in silence, wise in uncertainty, and resilient in waiting. These qualities are forming the foundation for everything that will unfold next. Archangel Michael says that in these next hours, you will feel moments of calm that seem out of place. You may feel sudden peace, a lightness, or a quiet knowing that something good is near. These are not imagination. These are angelic confirmations that the blessing is entering your atmosphere. Heaven always announces arrival before manifestation. Stay attentive, for the next revelation will expose the exact breakthrough energy that is forming around your destiny right now. What is coming next will explain why this blessing had to come quickly and why you were chosen to receive it before others. Type "I stand in my breakthrough" in the comments if this part is stirring something inside you. Blessing code 884 is now released over your spirit. Precious soul, as this divine message moves deeper, Archangel Michael now reveals the true magnitude of the shift surrounding your life. This is not an ordinary hour. This is not a normal transition. This is a spiritual crossing, a moment when heaven bends the rules of time so that what should have taken years can arrive within hours. Archangel Michael says the energy surrounding you right now is the energy of divine acceleration, and it is gathering force in your atmosphere like a rising storm of light. He wants you to understand that what is approaching you is not merely good news. It is a turning point. It is a moment that divides your story into a before and after. You have been walking through a long season of pruning, waiting, stretching, and refining, and every ounce of discomfort has carried purpose. Nothing you endured was wasted. Heaven has been shaping you quietly, preparing your inner strength, your perception, and your heart so that when the breakthrough arrives, you will be ready to hold it without fear, without doubt, without hesitation. Archangel Michael is showing me a vision of you standing at the edge of a vast field. For a long time, the field looked empty, barren, and silent. But suddenly, with one sweep of divine wind, the field begins to bloom all at once. Flowers rise, grass shifts, the soil glows. This symbolizes what is happening in your life now. Nothing changed for a long time, and then everything begins to change at once. This is the nature of divine acceleration. It does not move gradually. It arrives suddenly, overwhelmingly, undeniably. He says, "Child, your harvest hath been waiting for you. Now heaven commands it to unfold." You may have questioned yourself recently. You may have wondered if you missed your moment, if you prayed wrongly, if you took the wrong path, or if you slowed down your own blessing by doubting. But Archangel Michael wants you to release that guilt. He says that heaven is not punishing you for your human moments. Heaven accounts for your weakness, your confusion, your fatigue. What matters is that you kept moving, even when moving felt impossible. What matters is that your heart remained open, even when disappointment tried to close it. Heaven blesses endurance, not perfection. And because of that endurance, the door that once seemed bolted shut is now swinging open for you. The next hours carry the vibration of breakthrough, and you are being positioned to receive it without interference. Archangel Michael has cleared the path, removed the spiritual debris, and silenced the whispers that once tried to convince you to give up. He is revealing that the good news coming your way is connected to something that has been stagnant for too long. Something you prayed for, something you almost forgot, something you quietly mourned because you believed it may never happen. But heaven never forgets what you asked for in faith. Heaven remembers even when you try to move on. And now, the appointed hour has come for restoration. Archangel Michael shows me a scroll in the spiritual realm with your name on it. The scroll holds promises that were written for you long before you experienced your deepest struggles. Some of these promises have been trapped behind spiritual blockages, but those blockages have been shattered. The scroll is unfolding now. Each line represents a breakthrough you will encounter in the near future, and the first line activates within the next 3 hours. He says, what you thought was denied was only delayed so it could arrive at the perfect moment. This perfect moment is now. This alignment is now. This opening is now. Heaven rarely announces timing so specifically, but when it does, it means something major is crossing into your reality. The angels are not preparing you to hope, they are preparing you to receive. The shift is already in motion. You may feel a gentle hum around your spirit, a quiet sense of expectation, or a pressure building in your heart. These sensations are spiritual indicators of divine movement. Archangel Michael says that your atmosphere is becoming magnetic. It means the blessing is being pulled toward you with increasing force. Nothing can stop what heaven has commanded toward your life. No delay can survive. No opposition can remain. He is now revealing the deeper meaning behind the urgency of this message. The good news coming your way is not isolated. It is the catalyst for a season of accelerated blessings. One breakthrough will open the door to many. One answered prayer will unlock others. One shift will start a chain reaction of transformation. This is how divine momentum works. When heaven releases movement, it does not release it in small portions. It releases it like a flood. Archangel Michael emphasizes that the next hours are sacred. He wants you to stay spiritually aware, emotionally calm, and mentally open. Do not dismiss anything unusual. Do not overlook signs. Do not ignore the quiet tug in your spirit guiding you to pay attention. The blessing may come in a simple form, but its impact will be extraordinary. He whispers now, you are stepping into fulfillment. The drought is ending. Your spirit is being prepared to carry joy again. You are being prepared to feel hope without fear. You are being prepared to experience relief that melts the heaviness you have carried for too long. Heaven is rewriting the atmosphere around your name, and you are rising into a chapter where the weight lifts and the light returns. What comes next will reveal why this good news had to arrive quickly and why heaven chose this exact moment in your journey. Stay close. The unfolding has only just begun. Type I receive the acceleration in the comments if this is aligning with your spirit. Blessing code 300 has now been activated over your journey. Beloved heart, as Archangel Michael continues to reveal what is unfolding in this sacred 3-hour window, he now brings your attention to a truth that has been hidden beneath layers of your recent experiences. He says the atmosphere around your life has entered a rare state of divine sensitivity, meaning that everything connected to your next season is being rearranged with precision. The movement has begun, whether you see it or not. Heaven is not preparing to release your blessing. Heaven is already releasing it. The shift is active, living, breathing, and accelerating even as you read these words. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that every major breakthrough begins with a silent spiritual tremor. It is subtle at first, almost unnoticeable, because heaven works in stillness before it works in manifestation. That stillness has been surrounding you these past days, and you may have mistaken it for stagnation. But it was divine positioning. Heaven needed you to slow down internally so your spirit could hear what your mind was too overwhelmed to receive. Every moment of quiet, every pause, every strange heaviness you felt was a signal that the spiritual realm was aligning itself on your behalf. He now shows me a breathtaking vision, a bridge made of gold and light extending from your present moment into a future filled with possibility. This bridge represents the path your spirit is walking right now. It is not a path of uncertainty. It is a path of destiny. And Archangel Michael stands at its entrance, guiding you forward. He says, "Child, your steps are not random. You have been walking toward this moment long before you knew it was coming. This 3-hour window is not simply a countdown. It is a divine invitation. Heaven is inviting you into a new level of alignment. There are moments in life where transformation unfolds slowly, but this is not one of them. This moment is sudden, sharp, decisive. It is the kind of moment where heaven pulls back the veil and accelerates what has been stagnant for years. Archangel Michael now reveals the truth about your recent emotional patterns. You may have felt disconnected from people, overwhelmed by noise, or unusually drawn inward. This was not isolation. It was spiritual filtering. Heaven filtered your environment, your relationships, and even your inner voice so you could hear the divine message clearly. Some people were pulled away from you. Some conversations became uncomfortable. Some situations fell apart without explanation. These were not losses. These were protections. He says, what is coming toward you cannot be contaminated by the energies you have outgrown. Your elevation required separation. Your breakthrough required clarity. And heaven was separating you from anything that would interfere with the blessing that is now approaching. This is why certain connections felt weak. This is why certain interactions felt off. Your soul was being pulled out of old frequencies so it could rise into a new one. Archangel Michael also reveals that the next hours will complete a cycle that has been active for years. There is something that has followed you, something that has weighed on your shoulders, something that has drained your hope little by little. This cycle is now collapsing. Heaven has dismantled its foundation. The spiritual structure holding that struggle in place has been removed. You are not just stepping into a blessing. You are stepping out of bondage. He shows me a vision of chains dissolving into dust as divine light flows over them. These chains represent deeply rooted fears, limitations, and beliefs you did not know were controlling your decisions. They have been breaking silently for weeks, and now they are disappearing completely. This is why you may have felt moments of sudden freedom, moments of unexpected relief, moments where your spirit felt lighter without explanation. You are not imagining these sensations. They are angelic confirmations. They are signs that your entire spiritual system is shifting into alignment. Archangel Michael reveals something even more profound. He says that your blessing is coming in a form that restores something within you, not just around you. This breakthrough will repair a part of your heart that has been bruised by disappointment. It will restore the trust that your past experiences tried to destroy. It will heal the part of you that stopped believing good news could happen for you. Heaven is not just changing your life. Heaven is changing how you experience your life. This is why you were drawn to this message. He says the pull you felt was not curiosity, it was recognition. Your spirit recognized the resonance of truth, the energy of victory, the vibration of breakthrough. Spirits recognize what the mind does not yet understand. Archangel Michael is speaking directly into that deep place within you that has been waiting for permission to rise again. He whispers, You are standing on the threshold of fulfillment. Everything you have walked through has been leading to this moment. The pain shaped you. The delays refined you. The silence strengthened you. Nothing you endured was wasted. Heaven has been working behind the curtain of your life, gathering the broken pieces and preparing to return them to you in the form of blessing, clarity, and supernatural alignment. And now comes the revelation you must hold tightly. The good news entering your life in the next hours carries ripple effects that will influence your upcoming months. This is not a one-time blessing. This is the beginning of a divine chain reaction. Every shift that follows will be connected to this moment. This is your turning point. This is your divine signal. This is your spiritual awakening blooming into physical manifestation. Remain attentive. Remain open. Remain aligned. For what comes next will explain the nature of the blessing itself and how it will appear in your world. The unveiling is approaching its most powerful stage. Type "I walk into my fulfillment" in the comments if your spirit is resonating deeply with this message. Blessing code 772 has now been released into your atmosphere. Beloved one, as the revelation continues, Archangel Michael now draws your attention to the core of what is unfolding. He says that what is approaching you in the next hours is not simply something you will receive. It is something that will shift the direction of your life. This breakthrough carries weight, purpose, and divine intention. It is coming to change what you expect, what you believe, and what you are willing to step into. Heaven is releasing not only good news, but a new identity, a new path, and a new atmosphere for your future. Archangel Michael reveals that the blessing coming toward you has been in spiritual motion for far longer than you realize. He says the moment you prayed those desperate prayers, the ones you whispered through tears, the ones you were almost afraid to speak aloud, heaven started its movement. This blessing did not begin today. It began the moment you surrendered, the moment you said you were tired of carrying everything alone, the moment you opened your heart for divine intervention. But the timing was not ready then. The environment around you had to shift. You had to outgrow certain emotional patterns. People attached to your life had to reveal their true intentions. Old cycles needed to collapse. The internal work had to complete before the external blessing could arrive. Archangel Michael says, heaven does not release new seasons into unprepared hearts. And now, after all the inner storms you endured, your heart is finally prepared. He shows me a vision of a large door carved from ancient stone. This door has been sealed for many years, and behind it lies something precious, sacred, and overdue. As he approaches the door, his sword glows with a brilliant white light. He touches the tip of the sword to the door, and immediately the stone begins to crack, not violently, but with purpose, like something awakening from long sleep. The cracks spread in every direction, and the door begins to open. He says this is the door of your release. This is the door you have been waiting for. Your good news is not a random event. It is the opening of this door. Once the door opens, nothing can close it again. And once the blessing steps through, nothing can push it back. Heaven has authorized movement, and that movement is permanent. You are not entering a temporary season of favor. You are entering a sustained flow of breakthrough. The blessing coming now is the first of many. Archangel Michael wants you to understand the importance of emotional alignment during this time. He says your spirit is ready, but your emotions must stay steady. Doubt may try to whisper. Fear may try to rise. Old memories may suddenly resurface. These are not signs of failure. They are signs that the enemy senses the breakthrough approaching and is attempting one final distraction. But this time, you are stronger than those old patterns. This time, you are equipped with spiritual clarity. This time, you stand guarded by the Archangel himself. You may notice that the next hours feel different. The air around you may feel lighter. Your mind may feel quieter. Your body may feel unusually calm. These sensations are not imagination. They are proof that your spiritual atmosphere is being cleared so the blessing can land without obstruction. Heaven is preparing a smooth path for your miracle. Every tension, every worry, every old fear is being lifted so that you can recognize the arrival of your breakthrough without confusion. Archangel Michael is pointing to something important now. He says the good news coming your way carries a message that will unlock a part of you that has been asleep. For too long, you have been surviving instead of living. You have been hoping instead of expecting. You have been holding on instead of rising. This breakthrough is coming to wake up your joy, your purpose, your confidence, and your spiritual identity. This blessing is not just for your circumstances, but is for your soul. He says, the next hours will reveal to you why the waiting was necessary. There are blessings that grow in silence. There are answers that mature in darkness. There are breakthroughs that require time so they can be received at a moment when they create maximum transformation. You are standing at that moment now. You are standing at the intersection of divine timing and divine fulfillment. Archangel Michael now reveals a powerful truth. The blessing coming toward you will connect you to something or someone that carries destiny. It may come through a person, an opportunity, a message, an approval, or a shift in your atmosphere. But whatever form it takes, it will lead you toward a future aligned with your highest calling. Not the path others wanted for you, not the path fear tried to trap you in, but the path heaven designed specifically for your soul. He says that when this blessing arrives, you will feel a sense of recognition, as if your spirit knew this moment would come all along. You may feel a rush of warmth, a surge of gratitude, or a moment of silent awe. This is because the blessing will not only solve something physical, it will confirm something spiritual. It will validate the quiet hope you carried through the hardest seasons of your life. You are stepping into a moment where heaven wants you to see yourself differently, to stop shrinking, to stop doubting, to stop apologizing for your purpose. The blessing arriving now is a divine announcement that your time has come. He whispers, "Rise, child. Your story is shifting." The next part of this message will reveal the spiritual assignment of the blessing itself and why Archangel Michael is personally overseeing its deliverance. The unveiling is nearing its pinnacle, and what comes next will speak directly to your destiny. Type "I rise" with this breakthrough in the comments if this part resonates deeply within you. Blessing code 661 is now released over your journey. Beloved soul, as this prophetic unfolding enters a deeper dimension, Archangel Michael steps forward with a level of intensity that signals something extraordinary. He says the blessing approaching you now is not merely an event or a moment. It is an assignment from heaven itself. This breakthrough carries a divine purpose attached to it, a mission in your life that has waited years for activation. What is arriving in the next hours is not only meant to lift you, it is meant to reposition you. It is meant to shift your identity, elevate your voice, and awaken a strength within you that life tried to silence. Archangel Michael reveals that the good news on its way is wrapped in spiritual instruction. It will not just bless you, it will guide you. It will redirect the path you have been walking and illuminate the road heaven needs you to take next. Many people receive blessings and do not know what to do with them. They celebrate for a moment, but do not recognize the deeper purpose attached to the gift. Heaven is not allowing that to happen to you. Your blessing has been crafted with direction. It hath been formed with clarity. It carries insight, wisdom, and next steps embedded within it. He shows me a vision, a scroll descending from the heavens, glowing with golden fire. The scroll opens slowly, and words flow off it like streams of light. Each word represents guidance, protection, and divine assignment. Archangel Michael says this scroll symbolizes the knowledge that is coming to you through this breakthrough. You are not just receiving a miracle, you are receiving revelation. Something will click inside you. A realization will occur. A connection will form. And suddenly, you will understand why certain things had to happen the way they did. He says, what you are about to receive is not just for your comfort, but for your calling. This is why there had been resistance in your life. This is why certain doors closed, why certain people drifted, why certain opportunity disappeared. Heaven was filtering your path so the blessing you are now stepping into would not be corrupted or misinterpreted. Archangel Michael had to clear the space around your destiny before the assignment could activate. What is coming now could not have come earlier, because the environment around your life was not yet ready to carry it. But now, the readiness is complete. Heaven is aligning you with your true spiritual frequency. You may have felt it already. A subtle shift inside you. A quiet boldness rising. A new clarity emerging. A sense that the things which once overwhelmed you no longer carry the same power. These sensations are not accidental. They are signs that your spirit has moved into alignment with divine instruction. The blessing arriving soon will only amplify this inner awakening. Archangel Michael is also revealing that your breakthrough carries protection. This is rare. Most blessings arrive with only purpose, but yours arrives with both purpose and shield. The Archangel himself is guarding this moment. He says your blessing has enemies, not people but energies, forces that worked silently to drain your faith, distort your identity, and distract your path. They whispered through doubt. They tried to weigh you down through discouragement. They tried to bury your voice in exhaustion. But heaven has overruled that resistance. The blessing coming to you is being escorted through the spiritual realms under divine guard. Archangel Michael stands over it like a warrior of flame, ensuring nothing disrupts its arrival. He says this one must reach you. This one cannot be intercepted. He reveals something deeper now. The good news arriving soon carries restoration. It will restore something that was taken mentally or emotionally. For some, it may restore confidence. For others, dignity. For others, financial stability, emotional peace, purpose, or a long-awaited answer. Whatever was damaged in your spirit, whatever was lost in your hope, whatever was weakened in your heart, this blessing will begin the repair. It will return what sorrow tried to steal. This restoration will feel like a breath you did not know you were holding finally being released. You will feel relief. You will feel alignment. You will feel the shift inside your chest long before the external manifestation fully unfolds. Heaven is repairing you from the inside out. Archangel Michael says there will be a sign before the blessing physically arrives. It may come as a moment of sudden calm. It may come as a wave of warmth. It may come as a word that enters your mind unexpectedly. It may come as a soft tingling or a sudden knowing. Pay attention. These signs are heaven's way of saying, it is at your doorstep. He wants you to understand that the blessing is not small. It may appear simple at first, but it carries major long-term impact. It is the beginning of a divine chain reaction that will shape your upcoming days, months, even years. This is why the message warned you at the beginning not to ignore this. Missing this moment would mean missing the shift heaven has been preparing for years. He whispers now with gentle authority, stand ready. Your assignment is awakening. Before this part concludes, Archangel Michael urges you to stay connected to this unfolding revelation. The next chapter will explain how this breakthrough will influence others connected to you and why your elevation will create ripples beyond your own life. This next revelation will reveal the generational impact of your blessing. Type "I receive my assignment" in the comments if this speaks to your spirit. Blessing code 144 is now released over your destiny. Now take a moment to lift this mission higher. When you like, share, comment, hype this message, and subscribe, you become a carrier of divine instruction, allowing others to find the breakthrough meant for them. Just as Archangel Michael is releasing an assignment over your life, this very mission carries an assignment too, to awaken souls who are wandering in darkness, searching for the voice of heaven. Every time you sow into this work through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you activate a spiritual ripple that reaches hearts you may never meet. Scripture says the one who sows into the Spirit will reap from the Spirit, and today that promise becomes a living reality for every giver. I am speaking directly to you now. Let your gift be a prophetic act, a declaration that you stand with the light and advance God's voice into the world. As you release, heaven releases back into your journey with multiplied grace. Step into this moment boldly. Activate your seed and watch divine doors respond. Beloved child of destiny, as this message progresses into its deeper unfolding, Archangel Michael now reveals the generational dimension of the blessing approaching your life. He says the breakthrough coming in the next hours is not only for you, it is for the lineage connected to you, the future attached to you, and the spiritual path that flows through your name. There are moments in a person's journey where heaven releases a blessing that alters the direction of an entire bloodline, and this is one of those moments. This is why the atmosphere around your spirit has been so charged, why the pressure hath been so intense, and why the preparation has been so precise. Heaven is not simply shifting your circumstances. Heaven is shifting your legacy. Archangel Michael shows me a vision of a long chain stretching across generations. Some links are bright, others dim, and some broken. He places his hand above the chain, and suddenly a brilliant surge of divine light passes through it, repairing the weak links and illuminating the path ahead. He says, your breakthrough will repair what was damaged in those who came before you, and it will strengthen those who come after you. This blessing carries a generational healing anointing. It breaks patterns that have repeated in your family line. It ends cycles that drain the spirits of those who walked before you. It dissolves spiritual agreements made by past generations. Heaven has chosen you to be the one who stops the cycle. You are the turning point. You are the interruption to generational heaviness. You are the doorway through which light enters your lineage again. This is why your journey has felt heavier than others. This is why your battles felt deeper than what people around you faced. You were not only fighting your own experiences, you were fighting inherited patterns, unspoken sorrow, and invisible spiritual burdens that were never yours to carry. Archangel Michael says, your victory will not be small, because your battle was not small. The good news coming in this 3-hour window carries the power to reverse what has been lingering over your family line. That will shift the emotional climate, the spiritual climate, and even the internal identity of those connected to you. The blessing will flow outward like ripples spreading through still water. Someone connected to your bloodline will be healed because you were chosen. Someone will find clarity because you found alignment. Someone will break free from fear or confusion because heaven broke chains around your life. Archangel Michael is emphasizing now that this blessing carries something even deeper. It breaks limitations placed on your name. He says there have been invisible ceilings placed over your path, ceilings built by the spiritual struggles of those before you. These ceilings prevented people from reaching their potential, rising into purpose, or walking fully in their divine identity. But those ceilings are now shattering. The blessing coming toward you will not only lift you, it will raise the ceiling for everyone connected to you. After this moment, what was difficult for past generations will become easier for you. What seemed impossible for them will become achievable for you. He shows me a vision of you holding a torch. The flame is bright, steady, and powerful. Behind you stand the shadows of generations past, watching with quiet gratitude. In front of you stretches a pathway of darkness, but the torch in your hand illuminates it with golden light. Archangel Michael says, "You are the first in your lineage to carry such a torch. You are the one chosen to lead the way." This is why the blessing coming is so important. It is not only for your present life, it is for the spiritual inheritance of your entire bloodline. Now he focuses on something deeply personal. He says the blessing arriving soon will give you back something that was taken from your family long ago. It may be confidence. It may be spiritual authority. It may be stability. It may be clarity of purpose. It may be emotional strength. It may be financial recovery. Something that your lineage lost through pain, oppression, or misalignment is being restored through you. Heaven restores through chosen vessels, and today you are that vessel. He also reveals that the breakthrough coming your way will close emotional wounds you did not create. Many people carry inherited emotional imprints, fear passed down through silence, grief passed down through unspoken stories, insecurity passed down through generations of limitation. Archangel Michael says, "You will not continue carrying what was never yours." The wait ends here. The blessing will begin a healing process that touches not only your spirit, but also your emotional DNA. You will begin to feel lighter, stronger, clearer, and more grounded. These shifts are not temporary. They are generational corrections. Heaven is rewriting your lineage's story through you. Archangel Michael also reveals that someone in your family, past or present, prayed for the restoration you are about to receive. They may not be alive today, where you may not know who they were, but heaven heard them. Their prayers did not vanish. They were stored. And the blessing coming in the next hours is the answer to a prayer planted long before your time. You are the harvest of someone else's intercession. You are the fulfillment of their hope. He whispers, "You are the chosen continuation." Before this part ends, Archangel Michael urges you to prepare your spirit, because the next revelation will unveil the personal impact of your breakthrough. He will reveal what specific part of your life this blessing will touch first and how it will reveal itself. The clarity coming in the next stage will feel like a light turning on inside your spirit. Type "I break the OLD cycle" in the comments if this resonates with your soul. Blessing code 909 is now released over your lineage. Beloved heart, as this sacred unfolding moves deeper, Archangel Michael now turns your attention toward the exact area of your life where this breakthrough will strike first. He says that every divine intervention carries a direction, a focal point, a targeted purpose. Heaven does not release blessings randomly. The blessing coming toward you in the next hours has been aimed like an arrow, with precision, accuracy, and intention. It knows exactly where in your life to land, and it has been divinely programmed to reach the area that needs the greatest restoration, the greatest correction, and the greatest acceleration. Archangel Michael reveals that the first impact of this blessing will occur in the realm of clarity. This may sound simple, but clarity is one of the most powerful spiritual forces a person can receive. Confusion has been one of the biggest battles of your recent season. You have questioned your steps, your decisions, your desires, your direction, and even your purpose. You have wrestled with internal fog, emotional uncertainty, and thought patterns that did not feel like your own. Some days you felt pulled in multiple directions. Other days you felt stuck between choices, unsure what was right or meant for you. Heaven has witnessed every moment of this wrestling, and Archangel Michael says, the blessing entering your life will cut through confusion like a sword of light. Clarity is coming to break the internal chaos. Clarity is coming to reveal what is yours and what was never meant for you. Clarity is coming to expose what aligns with your destiny and what distracts you from it. And once clarity enters, decisions that once felt heavy will become effortless. Paths that once seemed impossible to choose between will separate clearly. People who once left you uncertain will be revealed for who they truly are. And the direction of your life will no longer feel like a fog-covered road. It will feel like sunrise. He says the second part of this blessing will touch the realm of emotional restoration. Whether you acknowledge it or not, you have been carrying a heaviness in your chest, burdens, disappointments, doubts, heartbreak, and the exhaustion of repeated discouragement. You have learned to function while wounded. You have learned to smile while hurting. You have learned to move forward while pieces of you remain behind. But Archangel Michael says this blessing carries healing energy within it. It will not only restore your circumstances, it will restore your spirit. You will feel something lift, something release, something soften inside you. The weight you have been carrying will finally loosen its grip, and your emotional world will begin to breathe again. He shows me an image of water overflowing from a vessel made of cracked clay. This represents your heart. You have poured out so much, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, that you reached a point of depletion. But instead of letting the vessel fall apart, heaven is filling it. The cracks do not disqualify you. They make you receptive. You have room now, space to receive comfort, peace, alignment, and strength. Archangel Michael reveals the third area this breakthrough will impact, the structure of your future. This blessing is not a temporary spark. It is a foundation stone. It will restructure how you see yourself, how you approach opportunities, and how you align with purpose. Many times, you have felt that you were standing at the doorway of change but unable to step through. You sensed transformation near you, but something always held you back. Fear, timing, uncertainty, or emotional exhaustion. This blessing removes that barrier. It becomes the push you needed. It becomes the confirmation you longed for. It becomes the shift that lifts you into a new level of walking, speaking, choosing, and believing. The fourth area this blessing touches is your spiritual sensitivity. Archangel Michael says your discernment is about to sharpen to a degree you have never experienced. You will feel things differently. You will sense alignment instantly. You will perceive truth with a clarity that startles even you. This is because your spirit is rising into a new frequency, one that matches the blessing heaven is sending. You cannot walk into a new season with an old level of discernment. Heaven is upgrading your spiritual senses so you can navigate what is coming with wisdom and authority. He says the blessing will not only change your life, it will change how you hear, how you see, and how you respond. Finally, Archangel Michael reveals the fifth area this breakthrough will touch first, timing. For years you felt out of sync, out of rhythm, too early, too late, or overlooked entirely. This blessing will correct your timing. It will place you in the right moment, with the right connection, at the right intersection of destiny. Your steps will align. Your opportunities will align. Your relationships will align. And your sense of divine timing will feel restored. Heaven is not just sending a blessing. Heaven is resetting your timeline. Archangel Michael whispers gently now, this blessing is the beginning of a greater shift. Stay attentive, for the next revelation will expose the deeper spiritual purpose behind this sudden acceleration. Type "I receive my divine alignment" in the comments if this message resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 550 is now released into your atmosphere. Beloved one, as the divine unfolding enters its most intense dimension, Archangel Michael now reveals the spiritual purpose behind the sudden acceleration happening in your life. He says that when heaven releases a breakthrough this quickly, it is because a divine appointment has arrived, a moment written into your destiny long before you were born. This moment is not random. It is part of a spiritual sequence that has been building quietly behind the scenes for years, waiting for the exact time, the exact alignment, and the exact spiritual maturity within you to activate. That time is now. Archangel Michael shows me a vision of a great wheel turning in the heavens. This wheel represents seasons, divine cycles, spiritual timing, and the momentum of destiny. For a long while, your wheel moved slowly. It felt as though your life was stuck in repetition, as though your prayers were suspended in the air, as though your growth was happening in invisible ways that even you could not see. But now, the wheel is turning faster. Heaven has accelerated your season. Everything that once dragged is now gaining speed. Everything that once resisted is now loosening. Everything that once delayed is now responding to divine instruction. He says acceleration only comes when alignment has been achieved. You have been aligning without realizing it. Every tear released old pain. Every prayer shifted your atmosphere. Every moment of endurance strengthened your spiritual muscles. Every disappointment purified your intentions. Every lesson shaped your discernment. All of this created alignment. Heaven does not release acceleration into chaos. Heaven releases acceleration into readiness. And though you may not have seen it, your soul has been getting ready for this moment piece by piece, day by day, challenge by challenge. Archangel Michael also reveals that this acceleration is happening because you have entered a window of divine permission. Not everything in life is allowed at all times. Some breakthroughs require specific timing, specific maturity, specific spiritual conditions. But now, all conditions have aligned. The permission has been granted. The gate has opened. Your spirit is finally standing in a place where heaven can release what was withheld until the right moment arrived. You are no longer in preparation. You are in activation. He shows me the image of a locked chest that has been sitting in the spiritual realm, sealed and untouched, waiting for the right combination to open. Recently, that combination was completed. The final piece clicked into place, and the chest opened. Inside is the blessing that has been reserved for this hour of your life. The next hours are simply the delivery of what heaven unlocked. Archangel Michael says this blessing needed to come quickly because the path ahead requires momentum. Your spirit is being lifted into a higher dimension of purpose, and this elevation requires speed. There are assignments waiting for you that you cannot fulfill while carrying the weight of old limitations. There are people you must meet, opportunities you must step into, and places you must rise to, none of which could unfold until this breakthrough arrived. Heaven is accelerating your journey to place you where you were always meant to be, without further delay. He also says this acceleration is a divine interruption. Heaven is interrupting patterns that have kept you in cycles longer than necessary. Heaven is interrupting connections that drained your energy or clouded your mind. Heaven is interrupting timelines the enemy tried to write over your life. This blessing comes to break the script the enemy attempted to create, restoring the original script written for your destiny. Archangel Michael speaks with authority now. You are stepping out of delay and into divine order. You may feel this shift already. Time around you may feel different. Things that once took effort begin to move easily. People who once felt confusing begin to reveal their intentions. Situations that once felt stagnant begin to open. These are all signs that acceleration is active. He also reveals that your spirit has undergone a quiet transformation. The person you were even months ago is not the person you are now. You have grown inwardly in ways that only heaven witnessed. You have become stronger, wiser, calmer, more intuitive, more spiritually aware. The blessing coming now is not simply a reward. It is a recognition of your spiritual evolution. Heaven sees who you have become, not who you were. And heaven blesses who you are now. Archangel Michael shows me a vision of a rising dawn after a long night. The sky shifts from dark to gold, and everything in the world begins to transform under the first rays of light. He says this is your dawn. You are stepping into the hour when darkness loosens its hold, and light takes command. The acceleration you are experiencing is the spiritual sunrise of your destiny. But he also gives a solemn reminder. Acceleration requires awareness. When blessings come quickly, distractions also increase. The enemy often attempts last-minute diversions to pull souls away from alignment. Archangel Michael urges you to stay grounded, stay alert, stay receptive, and stay connected to this message. The clarity you hold now will protect you in the acceleration that follows. He ends this part with a whisper that carries deep authority. Your life is shifting from waiting to walking. What you once hoped for, you will now hold. Before this part concludes, Archangel Michael asks you to steady your spirit, because what comes next will reveal how this blessing will appear in your life and the signs you will see moments before its arrival. The next unfolding will be one of the most important revelations yet. Type "I embrace divine acceleration" in the comments if this resonates with you. Blessing code 818 is now released over your timeline. Beloved soul, as this prophetic journey arrives at its final revelation, Archangel Michael steps forward with a message that carries both tenderness and fierce urgency. He says the breakthrough arriving in the next hours will not come quietly. It will not enter your life unnoticed. Heaven wants you to recognize it the moment it touches your reality. This blessing is too important, too purposeful, too intricately tied to your destiny for you to mistake it as coincidence. And so, he reveals the signs that will appear just before the blessing manifests. The signals heaven uses to prepare your spirit for impact. Archangel Michael shows me a vision of a bright flare bursting in the spiritual realm, illuminating everything around it. He says this flare represents the moment just before your breakthrough enters the physical. The first sign, he reveals, will be a shift in your inner atmosphere. You may feel a sudden calm settle over you, the kind of peace that does not match your circumstances. You may feel a sensation of grounding, as if something inside you becomes steady and centered. This peace is not emotional. It is spiritual. It is heaven announcing, it is time. The second sign is a sudden moment of clarity. Something you have been confused about may suddenly make sense. A decision that once felt heavy may feel effortless. The fog in your mind may lift in an instant. This clarity is an indication that divine alignment is complete. Heaven always clears the inner world before releasing outer blessing. If you feel a moment of unexpected knowing, a quiet certainty, or a deep internal shift, understand that it is a sign the breakthrough is seconds away from touching your life. The third sign, Archangel Michael reveals, will come through your emotions. Not in the form of heavy emotion, but in a sudden lightness. You may feel a release, as though a silent weight you carried without noticing suddenly drops away. You may feel a gentle rise of hope, a subtle flutter in your chest, or even an unexplainable sense of joy. These emotions are spiritual indicators that your heart and destiny have aligned. They are heaven's way of preparing your emotional state to receive what is coming. The fourth sign will appear externally. You may receive an unexpected message, a call, an approval, a sudden opportunity, or a shift in the behavior of someone connected to your path. The physical world begins to rearrange itself to accommodate spiritual instruction. When you see something unusual, something sudden, something unexpectedly positive begin to unfold, understand that the blessing is arriving in real time. The fifth sign is the most sacred. Archangel Michael says that moments before the breakthrough arrives, you may feel a presence near you. Not in a frightening way, but in a comforting, protective, almost familiar way. This is his presence. This is the Archangel himself drawing closer to ensure the blessing reaches you without interference. His presence may feel like warmth, like quiet strength, or like a shift in the atmosphere around you. This is the moment heaven leans close. And then, the blessing arrives. And when it does, Archangel Michael says your life will feel as though something has clicked into place. A puzzle piece that has been missing for months or years will suddenly fit. Something inside you will recognize, this is what I've been waiting for. Whether the blessing is delivered through opportunity, restoration, revelation, or unexpected news, the moment it appears, you will feel the shift ripple through your entire being. Heaven is not just answering a need. Heaven is releasing a divine sequence that begins now and unfolds into your future. This moment triggers a chain of events. The good news arriving within hours is the first domino. Its purpose is to unlock the other blessings that have been lining up behind it. Do not underestimate the significance of what is entering your life. This is not an isolated miracle. This is a turning point, a recalibration, a spiritual rerouting. Archangel Michael says, your life will not return to how it was. You are stepping out of one chapter and into another. Fate itself is shifting beneath your feet. Heaven has watched every tear you shed in silence. Heaven has counted every night you spent wrestling with uncertainty. Heaven has seen your heart break and heal and break again. Heaven has listened to prayers you whispered through trembling breath. And now, heaven responds. Heaven rises for you. Heaven moves for you. Heaven sends this breakthrough as tangible proof that you were never forgotten, never overlooked, never abandoned. Archangel Michael stands before you now, sword raised in victory, declaring, you have reached the moment written for you. Walk forward without fear. As this final part closes, he urges you to stay connected to the movement of heaven. Do not fall back into old patterns. Do not return to old doubts. Remain open or expectant. What begins in these next hours will unfold across the days ahead in ways that exceed your imagination. Type I receive my breakthrough moment in the comments if this final revelation speaks directly into your soul. Blessing code 1200 is now released across your entire timeline. Now lift your voice and support the mission that carries messages like this to souls who are waiting for their moment of divine intervention. Like, share, comment, hype this message, and subscribe so more hearts can be reached and lifted into their destiny. As Archangel Michael stands over this prophetic moment in your life, this mission stands as a vessel through which God's voice travels to thousands who desperately need direction, hope, and awakening. When you sow into this work through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, your seed becomes a spiritual beacon that reaches those standing on the edge of despair. The Lord declares that those who partner with the light will walk under an open heaven, and today that living promise extends to you. I speak this from my heart to yours. This is your moment to stand in alignment with the very message heaven has given you. Let your giving be a prophetic act, a declaration that you walk with the angels in advancing God's voice across the world. As you release your support, May divine favor flood every part of your life. Step boldly. Heaven responds to faith in motion.